Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Paradise Podcast Network. I'm your host and DM for this evening, Corey Paradise, and I wanted to stop in before the session began and go over everybody that's a part of the Lion Knights and the crew here at the table. Starting off at the top of the order, Seth is played by Tyler, Clarke is played by Steven, Abigail is played by Kyle, and Yarissa is played by Jay. With no other information to say and nothing to announce, we can just get straight into the game and go down to the recap. All right, so last week. Well, did any of you guys? Let's go through. I want to hear a little bit of a recap from everybody this week. I want no voice left unspoken. We didn't have a session last week, so I want everyone to get involved with this week's.
Yes, sir.
Easy.
So after deciding that the Easton estate is still probably too risky to get to, decided to head on to the Easton Manor, see if we could get in contact. What?
Wrong.
Stupid.
We went to the Dark Chapel first.
Right.
Foolish.
Why didn't you tell us about that, Kyle?
Yay.
Me, little me.
Yay.
So before heading to the Eastern Manor, Abigail wanted to take a detour and stop by the chapel to check in on the group of stowaways in need of shelter that she has taken under her wing. I'm just cleaning stuff up on my desk. The rest of the party was very adamant about her telling them what business she had, considering they just had a talk about we need to stop keeping secrets from each other. And Abigail, on cue, said, "Fuck you, that's my business," and tried to sneak off. And she failed that roll and fell flat on her fucking face because I'm pretty sure I crit failed that. So everyone ended up following her. And after a lengthy conversation, everyone agreed. Abigail agreed to let the other three follow along so long as they stayed outside, telling the rest of the party what I'm doing is nothing insidious, and I have my own reasons for keeping it secret. That I don't remember what I said 2 weeks ago, but
Didn't believe you.
yeah, you guys didn't. But Yarissa particularly did not believe her, and why the fuck would she? But
And in fact,
when she got
the
there,
way that ended was you were unable to convince them whatsoever of of being able to keep a secret, and instead the four submitted to allowing you to keep said secret.
yeah, that is right. I do remember Abigail saying, "I don't trust Clarke to not open her fucking mouth." But upon getting to the chapel, none of the women were there. And upon communing at the altar, her employer spoke to her and started to say some things that were very disagreeable to Abigail, particularly asking why none of the women had been sacrificed to him, to which Abigail said, "That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to punish evil, not commit it." Our contract states that you send me after the people who victimize these people, not the victims themselves. At which point, her employer ended up burning her eye and hurting her quite badly. At which point, she stopped arguing. But as she was leaving, she saw a note on the door from the women saying, "Yeah, we've just gone shopping. It's okay." Meanwhile, Seth and Clarke were skipping rocks.
That's right. I'm a rock skipping god.
Yeah, Clarke fucking killed someone, I'm pretty sure.
Got anything to say about that, Seth? Huh?
And then as
know about it.
Abigail
What do you mean?
rejoined them, I'm pretty sure
I won.
she
Uh-huh.
she also demonstrated a very good rock skipping technique.
I don't know. I
But,
feel like
yeah.
God totally said that Clark's rock made it to America.
Yeah, but no one saw it, so it doesn't matter.
if a rock skips in the middle of the ocean and no one's there to see it, did it really
does
Did it
skip?
really skip?
No, it's gone. I still won.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
as
after
you
that-
exited the cathedral, Abigail, yeah, Seth and Clarke, you were having a skipping contest. Clarke, you actually threw yours. You
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
you
I
strength
fucking
checked
beamed
that
it up
thing.
straight up into the air like an idiot.
And
You just
it came
fucking
down at
threw
the
it as hard
docks,
as
skipped
possible.
out into the
Mhm.
bay, into the Thames, and it drew a crowd. A small crowd gathered as this mysterious rock came raining from the sky. And that's where Abigail, you actually did this just before going into the cathedral. You certainly did it after. You threw a can at Seth's head. He was irritating you by arguing with you back and forth about keeping a secret. You threw a can at his head. You missed the first one though, and then the second one you hit, it bounced off of Seth and landed and hit it. Yours actually hit the dude looking at the docks into the water when you threw it.
Crazy.
Yarissa, what happened after you guys all came back together after the cathedral and skipping stone escapades?
I believe the rest of the way was rather uneventful. But we made it to the Eastern Manor, and after some light reconnaissance from Seth, decided to just head in. And found that not only was what is her name escapes me at the Camille. Camille Easton,
Oh, Camille,
as
okay.
well as Leon was already there, and we had quite the conversation about the basement that we had discovered over in the estate a while ago, and how there might be more than one. We're not sure how many in particular, but the Eastons being architects, they might have put several around. Pull up my notes.
Clarke, you want to help him out?
What in particular about that conversation should we get into for the recap? Because there's a lot. There's a lot in that conversation,
It's true.
and a lot of it, sad to say, Clarke really can't take part in. She's really there to listen in terms of big conversations like that. We talked about how what's her brother's name again?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has a power that she doesn't have nor understands. He seemingly disappeared when they fell into the basement. I don't remember if it was confirmed or not, but the conversation led to him being captured by Siegfried. So there was conversation about us jailbreaking him, which Clarke again had like no input on and no like is this really gonna happen type of thing. Then we talked about the nightmares, and Camille had like a jolt of inspiration, and she ran out of the room. And then Yarissa and Seth sort of chased after her. They went upstairs because that's where they figured she went or heard she went. Either way, she was up there. Then she divulged that there was like a journal that her parents had about them having dreams, nightmares, and it revolving around the statues. Then she came downstairs to tell Abigail and Clarke, and then Yarissa and Seth had a conversation. I forget what about exactly.
What that was about is because we were remembering how the amulet
Right.
responded weirdly while we were down there, specifically the gem in it. And so Seth's main fear was that if we go down into one of those basements again, while he has like that kind of jewel, he's worried about what kind of effect it might have, what it might cause to happen. But as far as we know, those statues are kind of like connections to that other world that we've been hearing about so much.
And then after they returned, Clarke had some input on a conversation that she could take part in, which was about Spring Heel Jack. And then that turned into a nice, funny conversation about who gave him the nickname between Leonidas and Seth, and the whole conversation about that's a really stupid nickname. No, I think it's a pretty good nickname. Nah, it's not. It's not that great. But then it turned into us understanding that the person that was at Father Luther's shelter, that the demon guy that jumped away and extinguished the fire, is not the same person who was committing the murders known as Jack the Ripper. The whole conversation was really about why both of their names were Jack and how it's confusing. But now we know that those are two different people, and that Spring Heel Jack hasn't officially committed any murders or really done any crime. If anything, he helped out the shelter by putting out the fire and then jumping away, I guess. When you want me to continue, or do you want somebody else to hop in?
Seth, let's wrap it up for us.
Specifically, what happened towards the end of this?
Yeah, what happened between that and the wrap up?
From what I remember, off the top of my head, is I remember we were setting out, and we just so happened to run into Price and Jane. And long and short of it is, they really want us to become journeymen and take the trial, so to speak, because the faster that gets done, the faster we can kind of solve all of this. It seems as though all of our problems get one step closer to being solved the moment we become journeymen.
It was also revealed that the butler of the manor
Is a
was a
journey, yeah.
journeyman as well.
All right, why don't you all give yourselves
Inspiration.
yes inspiration? Sorry, that escaped.
I have a feeling we're gonna need it today.
How inspiring.
So with all that covered, then you guys went to bed and headed off for the night, and the session ended. Where we're going to bring in today is you four have woken up and have come downstairs and rejoined everybody back into the parlor room in which all the discussion was taking place before. The four of you are in the middle of discussions, talking about and debating going into the forest in search of the trials of the journeyman. Camille slams her hands down on the coffee table. What do you mean I can't go with you? I've walked in the forest my whole life, and you're telling me that I can't even go inside? My brother, who's not even here, he spent his entire life searching in those woods for the secrets that our parents kept, and you're telling me you're all going in and that I cannot come?
Yeah.
I believe that about sums it up, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But she attempts to feign an argument of some sort. Through the doors, Wilfred comes walking through, and he has his typical tray of assorted drinks and snacks for each of you. And he sets it down on the coffee table, to which each of you can get up and help yourselves. Oh, what seems to be the matter?
It appears as though Camille doesn't like the fact that we're going to be going through the forest without her.
Oh, there's no way, my dear. There's no way you can go in there. I'll find his voice eventually. Jane kind of folds his arms in the corner. There's just no way, Camille. The forest is too dangerous. And your brother, he barely walks out alive each time. What makes you think that you can traverse the forest even with all of us? We're all journeymen. And you betrayed your country. And she has no way of saying that the sheer fact of the matter is that every word that he says is true. And the fact that you all stopped her, however long ago it was now, back in Andover, is only the proof needed. The four of you are harrowing reminders of her failures and transgressions that she does hold, as you can tell when he says that. She holds in herself to be, she knows is wrong. She sees those as not triumphant things of glory, but rather transgressions of her past she wishes to absolve herself from. And Price is standing in the corner. He's kind of getting all the things ready, packing up a supply, a large backpack that's bigger than him. And you can hear it kind of clanking with tins and other materials that he's gathered for each of us. All right. Who's going to wear the backpack?
Not it.
Not it.
I suppose I'll do it then.
No, you're supposed to say no to.
No.
No. Clarke physically can't say not it because she's stuffing her mouth with, like, scones and stuff, so she's not even cognitive of the conversation.
Let Clarke do it.
You sure?
Well,
Clarke,
Clarke do what? As she's
You're big-
wiping the crumb.
You're
Price,
big and strong, right, Clarke?
Yes, I am. Of course. Why?
Price drags over this heavy backpack that, as it sits next to you, Clarke, it stands just about 2 inches under your height.
You want me to lift that up?
You're going to carry it.
I
Okay.
believe in you.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, after all, no one here is as strong as you are, Clarke.
Clarke looks at Jane and she just flexes.
Seth's kind of like kicked back in his chair. He has his feet up.
It's like a little, like, she gives him like a little gremlin smirk. It's very playful in nature. It's not.
Camille just kind of backs away, tries to sink as far away, knowing that she is an example of your immense strength.
So, what makes this forest so special anyway?
I'm glad you asked. We went over it last night, but it never hurts to go over these plans again. Laid out on the wall is a kind of a rundown of orders, commands, a cheat sheet of sorts, a map of the topography of the terrain. The forest itself was made many years ago. Before we ever stepped foot onto the land, magic seemed to run plenty within its roots. Over the course of many generations, this forest has taken its fair share of adventurers. At some point, the past 200 years, London proper warded off the area, made it forbidden for anyone to enter, and the Journeyman trials were the only ones left to enter without the crown getting in their way. As sacred grounds of sorts. I believe you have something similar to it in America, Seth. Something akin to Native American lands.
Okay.
But the forest is treacherous, and over time, the Journeymen have leaned further and further away from using it.
So what's the
what
difference
makes it
now?
Yes, what makes this instance so special?
Well, you're the first four of the London Journeymen to be properly trained or contracted out in over 300 years. I suppose maybe we should have told you that sooner. Did not know you were unaware of this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing about Journeyman's still kind of fresh to me, so no, I wouldn't have known that.
Yes,
And it's not like they
not
taught
an
us. They taught us Journeyman in school.
Yes, it's not an organization which I'm particularly intimately familiar with.
That's a fair point, I suppose. Well, I did figure the Queen and the contracts would have stipulated all this, but, and then we have been throwing you guys kind of into the fray really quickly here. So, let's just say there's a lot going on in the world, too, that the temple's kind of worried about. So, should we run through it again, Jane? Should we tell them, run through the basics again before we get going? Well, I suppose that's up to them.
You mean the basics of the trial?
We can cover that.
Yeah, sure, why not? Keep it fresh in our minds day of.
I suppose whatever you think is beneficial for us to know, we have time.
Well, time to prepare is something we should all take before we venture out into the far-gone forest. If you don't mind, I would like to recall this. It's been some time since I've been able to do such. Long ago, before the modern days of the Journeymen, there were individual trials that each apprentice would have to go out and complete. And scattered around the world where these places and trials could be taking place, a Journeyman school was created. And with each one of those schools, Price steps up, and with each one of those schools, there were two trials that accompanied them. There was a trial of spirit, something to test the mental fortitude of each applicant and each apprentice. And then there was also a trial of strength, one to ensure that if the mind was fit for a guardian, the body was fit to house it. And only when both of these trials were completed that a journeyman was born. But like we said, it's been a very long time since anyone's done a trial like that. Both Jane and I, even though we've been journeymen for well over half a century, we took the modified trials. They only test you on your mind, and the physical trials were taken away, deemed archaic or too deadly for children to be taking place in. We kind of lucked out on that sense, because from the records that we were taught and we could read, they were pretty brutal by all accounts.
Alright, so we're getting the real deal, as it were.
The real deal indeed. London itself has not changed the journeyman trials since the archaic times that we spoke of, mainly because the schools of London disappeared along with the trials themselves, deemed a city not fit for a journeyman to found it in, too crowded, too political.
So what
That
exactly is the trial of body? Surviving in the forest for a couple of days?
The trial of body, for every single one of the places that used to have the trials, from all accounts it was greatly influenced by the surrounding environment. The schools of the Sahara find their trials in the desert, just as those in the Amazon find theirs in the jungle. Over here in London, We will find our trials somewhere inside that forest. I would be lying if I said I knew exactly where it was. It is why we came here. For Wilfred, the forest keeper. And Camille, from the back, steps up. The forest what? And Wilfred kind of solemnly looks at her. Oh, I'm sorry, dear. Did you think I was here on my own volition? I wouldn't be a butler if I couldn't help it, but I do enjoy helping you and your family where it counts. No, I was sent here by the Journeyman's temple, along with my partner, and we were meant to keep over the far-gone forest to make sure that it indeed stayed untrespassed until the time came for the proper trials. Only I did not expect them to send the trials so soon. It seemed, to be honest, when I took on this job, I thought that I would die before ever the trials were ran again. Like, you're right, I suppose my journey or my duty as the journeyman is to show you through into the forest for the trials, so going to stick by my words and do what I need to do.
Well, good for you. Christmas has come early this year.
Hmm.
As she raises her mug of coffee and then has a mouthful of it.
Oh, you're full of it, all right.
Now I must warn you all that the trials that await you are going to be rather, well, I couldn't tell you. They're going to be challenging, but I cannot tell you what the trials will be. I've never seen them myself. I only know how to get there. I've never been there, though. I would suppose it wouldn't be a bad idea if you needed to stock up on any supplies that you may need before we venture out into the unknown.
It's definitely not a bad idea.
You haven't exactly got a whole lot of healers here.
We still don't know exactly what to expect here. We don't know where it is, and we don't know what this trial is exactly going to entail.
Well, I do know that the trials here of London, they do not differ, they do not waver, they're always going to be the same. So even from the days of old, I do know that you will be faced with a trial of strength to begin with. And only then, if you can pass that, of trials of mental fortitude will be then thrusted upon you.
This is going to be a lot, isn't it?
I suppose they wouldn't have been deemed so archaic and outdated if they weren't a lot.
It had to be in a forest. I wish they could have just had a building.
What's the matter? You don't like the outdoors?
No.
You lied to me, Wilfred. I thought you cared about us. I thought you were family. And instead of trying to give a response that would be satisfying, Wilfred knows that there is nothing he can say that will take away the pain that Camille may feel of betrayal. And instead, he chooses to say nothing to her, letting her continue to wallow and think about what is going on. If you don't need me, then I'm not going to keep you all. And if none of you stop her, she's going to just kind of drag her way out.
As she passes Abigail, with one of her usual coy, unsettling smiles, she just looks at Camille with her open eye and just says under her breath, "Oh, it shouldn't be that surprising. London is a city built on lies."
I'm sure she'll get over it. It's not really our job to worry about her right now, is it?
No, hurt feelings are the least of our concerns right now.
She would only get in the way.
I can't help but feel a slight tinge of uneasiness, especially given her last foray against us.
That's a good point.
Clarke had returned to eating stuff off the table, and she looks up and Camille's gone. She's like, what?
Let's hope she doesn't do anything wild with any more crystals because of this one.
I do believe she has learned her lesson from the last time she encountered you for. I know it's hard to read her, and it's hard to understand what goes through that girl's mind, but I have been with her for her whole life, and I do believe that in time she'll show you that she has changed. She is not the same girl that you fought in the mines of Andover. But that is for another time. We have the foregone forest that awaits us. Now, please, if you must, go ready your things, and we will meet here in midday. Does that sound good? We can begin our journey into the forest while it's still daylight.
Sounds great.
Fantastic.
Yep.
All right, then we'll be here when you four get back. But just make sure you don't take too long. Don't stay out in London forever. These trials are.
Yeah. No. I figured I'd go pick up another 12 cases while we were waiting for midday.
Hey,
Wait, I have a question for you guys.
what's up, Clarke?
Do other journeymen have their weapon made before they go on their trials?
Generally, no, that's not the case. We try our best to make everything line up so that by the time you get done going through the trials, if you were to pass them, by the time you were to get done, the forge would be finishing up the hammering and laying the edge on your blade or weapon or whatever it is you chose by the time you would get back. But seeing as, and with London's blacksmith fighting the dust in the way he did, that timeline's gonna be a little bit thrown off, but we'll make do. After you become journeyman, finding a proper blacksmith is only a matter of time.
Okay, I feel a bit better knowing that previously people would just use regular weapons during this trial of strength.
Be happy you can use weapons at all. In the days before the modern trials, it is said the apprentice was sent into the forest with just the clothes on their backs.
No wonder they died.
I'm beginning to understand why no new journeymen have been trained in the last 300 years.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
But I suppose we're not getting any younger, and I'm sure we've got plenty of shopping to do.
Got that right. So, let me back up midday. Try not to get arrested.
Okay,
That
bye.
sounds like a plan. We'll be back shortly.
So what do you have to get? Just potions?
That's what I want to buy.
That is also what I want to buy.
All right, so you guys have exited the manor. You're back in town, back in the city of London. You guys want to make a stop to buy some supplies from. You just want to get some potions and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I would like to acquire some bravery juice.
coward.
As he's sipping on some syrup.
Fuck you.
So as you make your way across London, with the goal to acquire and stock up on plenty of potions for the coming trials, you head to the markets, and as you get there, there's a large crowd gathering around the front of the port. And sitting here, you can kind of push and squeeze your way, and you can, Clarke, if you hopped up on somebody's shoulders, you could see, but at your height, it's just a wall of people massing around, trying to get glimpses of what's going on at the dock. And what you see before you are over the crowd and into this opening, you see this area cordoned off by royal guards that in the center of the unmistakable profile of Leonidas stands, along with someone you all haven't seen in a very long time, Helena, as well as a figure you've probably not familiar with. And they stand at the end of the docks as you see an elegant woman come down the gangplanks of a ship down onto the docks, and royal guards escort her up the front of it.
Perfect.
Well, simply put, not our problem.
What's happening?
It appears that someone is being escorted onto a ship. So, just like the nice gentlemen they are, they blocked off the whole rest of the dock for us, making it a real pain in the ass to walk around.
That is most unfortunate. The royal guards are the ones that don't want our heads, right?
No, they are very much the ones that want our heads.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to roll something real quick.
The royal guards are not onto you guys or care about you guys much at all. It is the council.
The
Oh,
knights.
right, okay.
You can kind of like think about it, there's the council and there's the crown, the two sides of the aisle. These are royal knights. These are royal guard escorting them. So no, if you stay within eyeshot, none of them are going to become suspicious of you.
That's reassuring.
But as you four talk, you can see as the guards walk down the gangplank and they escort this woman over to the other three, and she then joins them and she gives a small curtsy to Leonidas and then shares a hug and a kiss on each cheek with Helena. And this other figure that stands there she doesn't even acknowledge him. He instead stands back and allows them to pass in front of him. And along with the rest of the guards, they begin making their way down the docks.
Oh, so now we gotta move for them. Nice fellows. So, as they're walking down, can I make a kind of perception check, specifically on this dude? Because I'm curious.
Okay.
Give an ocular pat down.
Yeah, ocular pat down. See what this guy's about.
He stands there and he has a red beret that he wears, but there's also he wears a kind of a short orange vest, like a marine vest type of thing, and he looks like his arms could each like bench press all of you four stacked on top of each other. He looks just ripped out of his mind, and he wears like a cutoffs on his shirt, so his guns walking by are intimidating. They could roll intimidation checks, each one of them.
I'm not impressed.
Rolling. Okay.
What am I rolling?
I don't know. He's rolling intimidation on you right now as he walks
Why
by.
don't you go and field test him?
Field test.
Are you trying to like stance up to a royal knight?
No, he's saying he fucking intimidated me, bro. Is he intimidated? Am I intimidated? Nah, this soul's a pussy.
Roll a charisma check.
Oh, just straight charisma?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm bad at those. Lying.
Whoa!
Yeah, his arms look like little twigs to you.
That's in character. That's accurate.
You look at his arms, and Seth, you get this smug of like, this guy think he is throwing around trying to rock these guns.
I got a sniper rifle. I can shoot through those arms, no problem.
It's true. I can fucking body this dude from like
Fucking
500 meters away.
That's the kind of guy who's like, oh yeah, he might be big and strong, but I have agility on my side.
Oh, my boyfriend's so strong. He can lift 300 pounds. Yada yada. Bringing out the blicky.
As he walks by you, Seth, so he rolls that intimidation. He glares over at you, Seth.
I just have a smug face. Like, who are you looking at?
Abigail nudges Seth in the side and just leans over to him and whispers, I bet you could fight him. Well, I think you should try. I think you should go right now. He's trying to stare you down. Are you going to take that?
Nah, he's a pussy with his posse. I don't need to worry about him.
Why are you guys trying to start shit with the Royal Knights?
This is an A to B conversation, so see yourself out.
He looked away first, so I win.
As Leonidas passes you four, he doesn't turn his face to you. He doesn't recognize or acknowledge you for standing there, but he does see you, and you can see his eyes kind of track you four, and gives you that sense of he recognized that you four were there, but knows that he cannot say anything officially. Just the same as Helena, if she did see you, she could not publicly react to like she would want to the just citizens of London. But as they all pass and exit the scene, slowly but surely the docks return to the normal affairs. People continue about their day, and the large crowd that jammed the docks flow through, and the docks and the market begin operating like they normally would, like any other day.
Very well. Shall we get
Think
to
that
shopping?
person's somebody we should care about?
Maybe. I don't know. It's probably like a princess of some sorts. From somewhere.
Well, if you don't care, I don't care.
I think she might have been talking about the big man glaring you down, Seth.
Yeah, he is a little princess.
No, I agree. No, I agree with you. I think you could take him.
Beat the shit out of that dude.
I think you should
Just-
try.
Walks down with his spindly little arms.
Abigail's just like walking off, like just a little bit after him, just like trying to hype him up. She thinks 100% that Seth would get his fucking ass handed to him, but she wants to see him try.
Nice.
Yarissa just like crossed her arms in contempt, like despising every single part of this conversation.
What? What?
You know damn well what.
He was fucking glaring at me. He was trying to show off his arms like he was cool.
Yeah, and now I'm glaring at you.
Why? Do you think you're cool?
He was starting something. I mean, the other guy, not Seth. For once, Seth wasn't starting something.
You
Seth wasn't-
two!
What am I doing?
Don't enable
No.
him.
I'm not enabling. What, little old me? You think I would enable someone? I am a woman of the cloth. I would do no such thing.
Her
That's
eyes
how I know-
squint further.
I turn to you and I say, "That's how I know you're full of shit when you bust out the woman of the cloth argument."
Right.
Oh, please, lying is a sin. Lies make baby Jesus cry. You
So
know.
is killing people. I saw the commandments.
You
Martin
and I
Luther was
must-
right about people like you.
We have some things to do, right?
You got potions to buy.
Yeah, Clarke like turns around realizing you guys are still like all the way back there, and she just screams, "You guys are so slow. What's taking you so long?"
We're talking about religion, and she's tempting me to bust out the 100th thesis.
Good lord.
We're having adult conversations. Why don't you go skip a rock or something?
I'm gonna go buy my food. I don't like you.
Man, okay. All right.
Potions, it is.
One of those sessions.
Now, remember, try not to haggle too much. We've got a time deadline.
Don't worry, just a little bit.
No,
It's okay. I'm not very good at persuasion.
just pay street price.
No. All right, okay, relax there. I don't know what you got on you,
She's
Miss
like running
Moneybags.
around the market, buying a bunch of like bread and beef jerky and shit. She's been here. She knows the deal.
Let's see.
Well, hey
Healing
there,
items.
strangers. What can I do you for?
What do you sell?
You hear a voice coming from the market, but you're not sure where it came from.
I can open my eyes if you'd like. By that I mean I can roll whatever you'd want me to.
As you say that, a man comes tumbling out of the boxes of the tent and lands on the ground in front of you, Clarke.
Oh my god.
It's him!
Don't
hey,
trust
everybody! Ah. Pats himself off. Hey, what are you guys
It's-
doing here? I can do what you're doing for.
It's you from the games.
Me? From what games?
From the games. I remember you.
Capitalism.
Capitalism, the game. I've played it many times growing up.
Did you say capitalism?
Yes,
Oh,
capitalism.
good lord.
My gosh. I haven't heard those words in...
Single word.
I've never heard those words. What's capitalism?
The best system when you ignore everything
Yeah, I
else.
don't really care. What do you guys want to sell?
Oh, I want to hurt you. What do you want from us, Boxman?
I want your money in exchange for goods and services.
Yeah, what are you selling?
Oh, there you go. That's capitalism.
What are you buying? Did you say
potions.
capitalism?
That's so stupid.
Abigail turns and looks at Seth and Yarissa and just says, "Oh, is this how this conversation's going to go?"
Yeah, I think you set that bar already. Yes, we said capitalism, so what are you selling?
Did you say... What do you want?
Potions.
Potions, specifically of the healing variety.
Righty, all right. Well, let's see here.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
That was a napkin.
were you looking for high strength mineral oils and snake oils and potions of healing of sorts? Or what type of strength were you looking for on these?
What do you mean, of sorts?
Of sorts. I can't be guaranteed that each product is going to have the guaranteed ingredients that say on the label.
Potion seller? I'd like your strongest potions.
I've heard this meme before.
You can't handle my strongest potions.
Well, all right.
All right. But what kind of potions you bringing out?
Sonny, I don't think you're understanding how this works. You tell me what potions you want, and then I go digging around in my sack here of money, and then I see what
I
I
already
can
told
pull
you
out.
what potions we want. We want healing potions.
Oh,
Yeah,
just healing
potions
potions.
of healing. Yeah, potion of healing.
Well, why didn't you just say so? And he kind of like
I did say.
agree to
All right,
disagree.
we should have.
And then
We
he-
should have spoken up earlier.
You know, just because of how much I like the way you speak to me, I'm going to give you a little bit of a discount, girly. And he opens up his sack, and inside you see nothing but healing potions filling the brim. Well, how many were
My
you
goodness,
wanting?
Is he selling greater?
Nah, well, let me look around here. Oh, dropped it.
as Abigail is also.
Whoops.
Sorry, son. It seems like I dropped the only greater healing potion I had.
Oh well, I shall take
Oh,
5.
sorry.
At least my foot's gonna be all healed up.
Allow me to take 5 of your potions off you.
All right. Here you go. That's gonna be for you. You're gonna give me 5? Let's see, I wasn't always good at math in school these days. Let's cut it down at, say, 180 gold.
My goodness, 180. Well, you certainly drive a hard bargain.
Well,
This
only for you.
Discounted rate, you said.
What? Wait, what?
You said this is the discounted rate?
Yes.
I'm gonna try and persuade him into going a bit lower.
Boy.
Okay.
Make a case.
Shit.
What's your case?
Well, you see, this is still even with the discount, you see, it's still quite a bit steep of a price for someone of my pockets. As you see my appearance, I'm not the most affluent of consumers around. Surely you might consider upping that discount a little bit for a woman of the cloth such as myself. And she immediately realizes that every time she says the words "woman of the cloth," she sounds like she's full of shit, and realizes, "Oh, I fucked it." In a
He looks at you
very
and
unusual moment of self-awareness for Abigail.
he looks at you and kind of ruffles his mustache up and down like a caterpillar. Well, seeing as you are the woman of the cloth, I suppose that your deeds of charity and such do deserve some form of more. And I gotta say, there's some... Sister, don't want to get into it now, but when things are right, I need to come see Father again, because I got some confessions when he is good to go. But I suppose I can maybe throw in a free vial of sorts, maybe something, a little bit of a testing kit. He rolled a nat 1, by the way.
Oh, how awfully gracious of you. Well, that's a offer that I'll certainly take you up on.
That would be about 5 of these potions for 150. We'll call it there, 150.
Your generosity knows no bounds.
How much do you have?
More than a lot more than 150.
I checked all your guys' stuff.
One moment while I do some fucking mental math. That'll leave me
A lot
with
more
that.
than 150. I'm worried that I might have the lowest.
I had 294 before I paid for the.
Oh, I have 195.
Well, I'm now poorer than you, as I only have 144 now. But she drops the bag of gold and holds her hands out for the potions as she drops the bag of gold in front of the Monopoly man.
Alrighty, we got you squared away. What about the rest of you?
Can I get a discount? Can I get a discount because I want one?
Well,
God.
what I was going to do was, because Abigail already has 5 pots, she was going to give the rest of the pots to Seth and Yarissa to split amongst themselves. But since I want to see how Seth makes his case here.
I mean, I'm already filled up too.
I mean, I just watched her get a discount. I think it'd be really unfair if you just kind of leave me high and dry here. It's kind of a bad business model. Just giving it out as you see fit.
Sir, are you sure you, how do we say this polite? Are you sure you're packing enough to be sporting around this part of town? Doesn't quite smell like you got enough coin on you to be shopping around, especially.
I'm sorry, excuse you. Where are you basing that off of?
I'm basing it off of this 18 dice roll that I just made. And you know what they say, trust in the dice is what I always say. That's
usually.
why I carry around a trusty set in my pockets for times like these.
I kill him.
Kind of messed up though.
Now, seeing as it is incredibly rude to just be asking discounts just because you see other people getting discounts, you don't know their situation, you don't know why I did that, and you just go over here thinking I'm just giving away free things?
Free things? I didn't ask for anything for free.
You're asking for a free discount.
That's
very true. I know. I'm a smart guy.
Sir, I'd like to apologize for the behavior of my my compatriot here.
I'm not gonna.
Oh, you two are together.
Unfortunately. But if he has any difficulty paying his price, I'm sure I can help cover some of the difference.
Roll persuasion.
Boy. Great. You rolled a 1 on one of them damage dice.
Ma'am, I understand that you two might be together and all, but trying to stand up for him after making these very rude comments about my benefit, and especially towards a woman of the cloth. I mean, she's getting a discount because she serves a community service to everybody. And I'm doing this stuff. I'm trying to appease the gods above,
buddy.
because God knows I need to appease them.
Yurissa's
Okay.
eyes begins twitching.
Now, as much as I appreciate you standing up for your fellow comrades of sorts, I just cannot seem to find. I was going to charge him more, but you know what? I like the respect of everyone staying together as a unit. I'm going to give you guys, I'm not going to take a discount off. I'm not going to add anything more like I was going to. I think I'm just going to be kind and charge you the same rate I charge everybody else here in the city.
Wait, you were gonna raise the price on me?
That's not the point
Seth.
right now. I'm moving on from that, Seth.
It's kind of messed up, man.
Listen, sir, I wasn't trying to excuse my compatriots' behavior. I was simply trying to ease the situation a little bit. As you
He's
see,
American, we understand.
we're in a bit of a hurry.
Well, I quietly understand. Now, how many would you like? Or is there something else you would like to have from the store?
There's some shopping of my own that I need to get done, but Seth, how many is it that you need?
I like to have his head. Let's see. Oh, it's 2 or 3.
2 or 3, you say? That's gonna we'll wrap that up at around 225, 125, and then I'll give you as much as you need. 2 or 3.
125 for 2 or 3.
For 2 or 3, 125.
How much is the 2?
Well, how much is the 3?
That's what I want to know.
Well, then
Seth,
we're
it's
all
a
in the
buy
same
one
boat
get
here.
one deal. Just
Buy one get one for 125. I could buy like 4.
You can buy 1 to 3.
How much is the 2?
$100.
100.
Huh? 100. 100.
And Abigail, how many extra do you have?
I have about 5 extra.
I see. So I don't need to buy this, do I?
Are you telling me you're pulling my leg this whole time?
Pulling your leg.
You said you were gonna buy something for me. And
Oh, I'm
now you
sorry.
tell
I
me-
moved past that already.
And what can I help you with?
As Abigail moves over to Seth and
No, it's
just
good.
just hands him the 5 potions. Don't say I never do anything for you.
Thank you. These are just potions.
just
of
in
healing.
Clarke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
That's
just,
it.
not even part of this conversation, eating like a loaf of bread, watching this go down.
That looks like a mighty fine loaf of bread you got there, little missy. But what if I interested you in? Look, it's an American delicacy. It's called garlic butter.
I mean, that's pretty good. Seth says from over here. It's pretty good.
I've never
How
had
much
it
does that
myself.
cost?
Well, for some-
Wait, you've never had it?
Of
And
course
you're
not.
going to sell it to me?
Well, that would be disgusting if I ate the very product I was going to sell.
I disagree. We own a bakery, my mom and dad, and we eat all of our food. It shows that it's good.
Are you telling me that if I buy a French baguette and you hand it to me, that there's going to be at least minimum of 2 bites taken out of that bread?
No, you don't eat the ones you sell. You just eat the product in general.
My point exactly, little missy. I'm not going to
You
eat
just
this
said
butter.
you've never had it.
I've never had this butter. I've only tried to sell this butter.
So why would I want to buy something you've never had before?
It's called exotic. It's very exotic.
It's not that exotic.
Oh, shush on you.
I've
I
been
don't
there.
know if you know anything about us Europeans, but we don't exactly like exotic food.
Too much flavor.
That would explain why I'm having such trouble getting rid of it.
Yeah, ketchup's very spicy. I had a character that hurt me to say that.
Getting high school flashbacks, huh?
Yeah, I had to
That
channel in a
statement.
stage for a second.
Well, fine. And he throws the platter of butter back into his bag.
Do you have
Well,
anything else for me?
it depends. What do you need?
I don't really need anything. I've got my bread and I've got my beef jerky. I'm happy.
Well, then it seems you found something that all of us seem to go through life searching for. If anything, I would try and buy that from you, but
Can you leave?
it just seems that happiness is something you can't buy with money these days. It's
He's so
something you
good.
have to
Seth, shut
you have
the
to
fuck
search
up.
out. You have to experience in the world, and I just don't think I'm ready for that yet. I know I'm getting old, but
Can you like?
the real things
Seth.
in life you just can
Am
never
I wrong,
ever
Yarissa?
expect.
Seth.
Am I wrong?
Sometimes I think
I'm very
that
sorry to hear that, Mister. As she like rips a part of her bread and just like hands it to him.
no, I can't take that from you. It looks like you need it more than I.
She looks him dead in the eye and like grabs his hand and then puts the bread in the hand and then just regroups with the party.
And I believe that if it weren't for everything
Get
that we
away from the
see in
strange
this
man,
life,
Clarke.
everything would just be the same. And that I could just do the things that I love doing. And I love everything. But the thing is that you can't do all those things anymore. Life is just
I
always
think I
gonna
beat
keep
him.
moving.
I think I did it.
Life is just always
I'll
gonna...
catch up. You guys go ahead.
Guys, I beat
Wait. No, I still I didn't leave yet.
No, I didn't leave the port. I was just going to check another store. See what I missed. Away from him.
And when things
So I'm
like
assuming
that,
he's still just talking to
I
nothing.
can't think to myself that everything's gonna be okay. But I know
He's talking
Sir?
with the bread in his hand.
Sir,
So how much do these potions heal for again? Like 2d4 plus 2 or some shit like that?
2d4 plus 2, yes.
Yeah, 2d4 plus 2.
Okay.
Sir?
Yeah, but what? Oh, hey there, little mister. Can I interest you in anything you might need? Any sort of shopping accessories or services of sorts?
Do you have any liquor?
Well,
Wow, straight to the point.
you're just in luck, little mister. I seem to be having plenty of spirits.
Oh, I could tell.
Right, specifically, whiskey. Do you have any? I just need a bottle or two.
Do I have any? And he opens up his thing, and in the same bottles as the potions that he just gave you, instead of potions like a red liquid or whatever color a potion is in your imagination, instead it is filled with a dark liqueur liquid that sloshes around, and the bag is filled again with all of these potions.
Do these take up the same slots as potions?
No, they're just
Okay,
in the
thank
same
God.
glass.
Ew, I would love it.
Okay.
It'd be really funny.
Has to choose between your addiction or your life.
Well, there's one clear answer here.
But it's not a clear drink.
Shut up. Okay. Yeah, what do you think, how much do you think 5 will set me back?
5 individual vials of the liquor. Well,
How big are these? Are they the size of, like, actual liquor bottles, or?
I would say that the quantity of each one by volume is akin to that of a standard like beer bottle.
Yeah, 5, I suppose.
Sounds about right for a potion.
All right. Oh, here you go. That's gonna be. Let me get my abacus out again.
Abacus.
You ever use one of these things? I swear to God,
No, I never quite understood how to use one of them.
neither did I. I just like pushing the beads around. It makes a cool sound. It's gonna be about a 50 gold pieces. You know, it's
Done.
funny with these things. You end up paying more for the bottle than you do for the liquid.
That's an interesting proposition. I might have to bring these back then. Do you take returns?
Oh my God, I could do refills. I've been buying bottles in bulk. I could just be refilling these suckers. Well, no, I can't. I'm selling them. Shit. I suppose I could refill them, but I don't know how the manufacturers will like that. But
Perhaps it's something to mull over.
yeah. I'll go give him a ring after this, and then we'll see what he says.
Right. I have to go catch up with my
No, wait, before you go,
comrades
can
then,
I
so-
interest you in a particular story about happiness? Have you found
Maybe
it?
some other time, sir.
Because if you haven't found happiness, can I suggest to you that when you do, you hold on to it tight. You hold on to it so tight its bones break. And when its bones break, it can't walk anywhere. And then you have love forever. And when you have
Sir,
love
I've got-
forever,
I've got bottles of happiness right now.
I
Thanks
wish
to
I
you,
was
so.
like evil so I could just shoot him from here.
I'm waiting for the voice in my head.
Stop taking your meds.
Yeah, I bet y'all.
Right,
y'all
there's
looking for my tulpa real hard now, aren't you?
they're my friends are waiting for me, so I'd better get going, sir.
Oh.
It was nice dealing.
Man, I wish
Doing
I had
business with
some
you.
friends in this world. I wish that I had friends and that everybody loved me.
Yep,
And
don't
that
we
everybody
all?
would just accept me for who
Let's
I
go,
am.
Clarke.
And perhaps then maybe, just maybe, I could find happiness in this world.
Hey, look at what they're selling over here.
Bye.
Oh, yes, this is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, real cool. It's like a cup, but there's like a handle to it, and there's like a ball in it, but the ball's connected to the cup with a string.
Right. I suppose if we're done looking at toys, then we can get back to the manor.
I mean, you're the one buying strange stuff from the capitalism man over there.
Have you ever played with the ball in a cup before?
Yes.
Did you say
Jesus Christ.
capitalism?
I really want to kill you. I want you to know that. As
You
a
don't
matter
want
of
bread.
fact, if you don't leave,
Hey.
I will strike you.
Oh, okay. You guys are all boxing me in here. I feel that. I told you that I'm a little claustrophobic.
Leave, please.
So is that a no on the bread? Maybe bread's too spicy for him.
Seems like the type. Let's go.
I think he might have been a bit more agreeable to you, Seth, if you're just a bit more polite to him. He was very agreeable to me.
Well, that's because you're a liar.
Sometimes lies are what you need to get you by in this world.
Oh, trust
is
me, I'm
like-
well aware. Unlike all of you, I decided to lie
Can
to
the
the
both of
queen.
y'all stop instigating sometime today for 5 minutes?
Hey, what's that you bought, Yarissa?
You didn't see that.
Hey, kind of a weird liquid you got hanging on your pouch.
What do you
No. It's in the pouch. You can't see that.
No, I saw you putting
Would
it.
you like some bread, Yarissa?
You saw my crit and perception. I see everything.
No, you didn't see shit.
Oh yeah, did I not see shit? Let's find out. I didn't see shit this time.
Okay. Fuck.
So after you guys had made your way to the market and encountered a strange little man, and Seth, after you took a nice little dive in the Thames and splashed your way on out,
Oh, you noticed?
He's God. He notices all.
so you make your way back into the city and are making your way with the intended goal back to the manor.
Yep.
I always have a feeling something bad's gonna happen whenever that rings.
You get used to it.
That's not the most comforting sound in the world.
I feel like one of these days it's gonna ring and then just explode.
Then
So
we
because
will-
you can make bombs.
No, but I don't think it's related. But both those things are true.
Well, you certainly have bombs on the mind lately.
You think if we just blow the trial up, we just win?
I
don't
mean,
think
that
that's
would be
how that
pretty
works.
strong of us.
I mean, we don't know what the trial is at all in all of that discussion, right?
You just set the forest on fire.
Don't set the forest on fire.
I'm not gonna. I didn't say that that's what I was gonna do. I'm saying that we could do it.
I don't
Right.
think we should. There's animals in the forest.
Yeah, be unethical.
What if we have to make sure that someone else doesn't set the forest on fire?
Well, beat that person up. I'm sure you'll fucking grab him, throw him on the ground.
Wasn't the whole point of the forest that no one else knows where it is? Who would be setting fire to it?
Well, it's really hard to not know where a forest is.
I mean, I suppose, but doesn't the royal guard stop people from entering that aren't us?
I mean, maybe. But the Royal Guard was all at the docks right now. Who knows how many are still over here?
So you four make your way back to the Easton Manor,
We're all very smart characters in this party.
where upon entering the foyer, you can see Wilfred, Price, and Jane in the main hall or the main the entryway, and they each have prepared their things as well as you guys have gone out and prepared yourselves. They have prepared their things and are looking like they're ready to prepare for an expedition.
As long as they're getting into.
We're back. We brought the little shit back with us.
Don't you dare speak about Clarke that way. See what you won't appreciate it. I'm gonna walk ahead after saying that. We're back.
As Abigail looks at Clarke and just shrugs and says, "His words, not mine."
Wait, so you were talking about me?
No, I wasn't talking about you, but it seems apparent that that's what he thinks about you.
Oh,
Don't listen to her, Clarke.
Oh, good. Everyone's back. You got everything you need?
Yep.
Hopefully.
Sir.
Surprisingly, you guys didn't take too long. We were taking bets. We were sure we were going to get back later tonight.
Do you really think that poorly of our
Yes.
abilities to keep to our commitment?
5 minutes.
Bunch of assholes you guys are, huh?
5 minutes.
Someone's feeling snippy today. Yeah, just because you woke up on the wrong side of bed doesn't mean you need to take it out on all of us. After all, we are here to do your trials.
Okay, I have the talking stick. Please, can we move on? Please? I'm begging you.
Oh, if it's so hard to bear, why don't you just take a swig about it? That's what you do with all of your other problems.
I'm gonna glass you.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Oh, do it, you won't, pussy. Sorry, my faith prevents me from saying that word. Do it, you won't, coward.
So anyway, where are we heading out, guys?
Are we all ready to begin?
As ready as we'll
I
ever
am.
be.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about them back there.
Oh, I'm perfectly ready to begin.
Begin what? The trial or a bar fight?
Oh, column A, column B. They don't have to be mutually exclusive.
wait, there's a bar in the forest?
That could be.
Well, if
Right,
there is,
so
I'm
the
certainly
trial-
ready to start a fucking one.
The trial.
Right, the trials.
Yes.
Well, with your haste, we should be able to make a good dent into the forest before sunset. If we were to set out now, it'll take a little bit to get there. We can explain further any questions you may have while we walk.
Sounds like a plan.
Alrighty then follow me. And he heads out the back of the house. The same way that Seth, he brought you into it.
Back over here?
Yep.
Yeah. I remembered.
Yeah, this is where I almost broke in.
Almost?
Well, yeah, he let me in. Otherwise, it would have been breaking.
Oh god, I'm fucking lost. Sorry, my bad, I took a wrong turn.
Well, then it should be just this way. We'll head into the forest, and then we have a couple of landmarks we'll take, and just stick by me. I will lead us through the routes. It's been a long time, so they may be overgrown, so don't stray too far if you do. Jane, he's going to stand behind everybody because he's the tallest amongst everybody there. He can see everybody over everybody else. And so, the lot of everybody begins to make their way down the road around the Easton Manor and over to the Far-Gone Forest. Any further questions before we step into the Far-Gone Forest that you need answered?
Well-
Unless you have any information about what the trial actually is.
Well, I do believe that would be Wilfred's domain. Can you enlighten them, Wilfred? Well, it's been a while since, like we said, it's been quite a while since the trials have begun. I believe that it had something to do with testing the fortitude of the strength came down to the inner will of and the natures of each and every person that the trials were testing. That is at least what the Journeyman's official transcript said about this. They unfortunately haven't been ran in so long that any actual details of what may have lied in the Far-Gone Forest all those centuries ago, I just don't know how accurate they would be in modern day.
What test did you take, Wilfred?
Why, I took the test of the crane. It was in the northern sides of Europe. Mostly, I came from Norway, but the trials of that particular area were taken over for the years being, so I made my way to Germany.
I see. The test of the crane, you said. Does that mean that since journeymen are assigned a spirit animal of sorts, is that to say that our tests shall be given the same motif as the animals that we shall be assigned?
Price and Jane share a glance, knowing what the answer to the question is. For you four, I don't suppose that it's going to be the same as mine. I had a very special occurrence for my acquisition of sorts. The same reason I don't do field work anymore. Let's say to make things easier to understand, my spirit animal was given to me by my father, and he was given it to him, to the man before him. It's a bit of a different ritual than the one you're about to go through, but all the while the same. It was painful and terrible in its own right. But for me, the crane is a emblem of the journeyman that sticks within generations. The 4 you will get, should you be alive by the end of it, will look much more accustomed or akin to the animals that you each hold within yourselves, not within your own generations or blood, but something unique to you and you alone. What I'm trying to say is that no, you will not have the same trials that I will, and your trials will not be based upon whatever animal it is that you are connected with. Your trials are ran by an intermediary of sorts, and your actions are judged, and your gods are then chosen. I know it's terribly confusing, but it is the way of the journeyman. It helps when you've gone to schooling for most of your life before taking on the trials. I will admit this is a bit unorthodox.
Well, I suppose all we can do is hope that everything elucidates itself once we get further in.
I do so hope that's the case, though I do so doubt that it will be the outcome. I think things will make the most sense if you come out upon the other side of all of this. I think after that there will be, without a reason of a doubt, of what all of this means. I'm terribly sorry I cannot be of more help to you all. I know the confusion runs deep, but that is part of the challenge, I suppose, or the strife of an apprentice, always giving questions and very little answers. But just as every journeyman will see, those answers do have conclusions, or those questions do have answers, I should say. And they will all be answered in time. I promise you all that.
So as Wilfred was talking, as it was going on, Clarke just 1,000-year yard stared. And then when she finally stops and she notices, she like snaps back to it. So what's the weirdest animal somebody's got?
A mighty fine question. There are so many animals to choose from, and well, there are the caterpillar gang that live out somewhere in the boondocks between here and India. Those were probably the most metamorphosizing bunch that I've ever met. But other than
So
that,
do they have to stay caterpillars or they can become butterfly?
yes, Clarke, that is the question, isn't it? No one has seen them since they've gone missing. They've gone into what some would say a hibernation, or maybe a cocoon-like state. Though those are legends, the caterpillar gang once did roam the lands. But the strangest one.
Wait, what do you have to be like to be a caterpillar?
Well, you have to eat a lot. You have to be slow.
Oh,
You can't be very fast.
Okay, good, because I'm fast, but I eat a lot, so I can't be a caterpillar, is what you're trying to tell me.
Oh, you, Clarke, would never be a caterpillar.
Okay, thank God, I hate
look
bugs.
at you, and dare I say I see a bird just like I do in you. But
Bird?
yes, a bird. You flying high above the clouds.
But I'm down here. What?
Yeah, pretty far down.
I can't be a... Hey,
He's snarky to himself back there.
Isn't it a great juxtaposition? A
oh,
bird.
what?
Oh, right. Is not the difference funny?
Wait, so this is supposed to be funny? Your animal's supposed to make somebody laugh? I don't want to be a joke to someone.
It's only a joke to others if you do not learn to laugh at yourself, Clarke.
Okay. I mean, birds are better than fish, so that's a step in the right direction.
Perhaps the most strangest was the flying fish, man. Yes, he was given that at a very young age, and this amphibious little fellow, he would skip along the water, jumping in and out, and being able to do things like soaring above the waves, but on land he was useless, only good in the water. That was a strange one. That was a strange day.
So wait, did he have the ability to walk on water before or after he became a fishman?
If my memory serves me right, he once he came out of the caves, he was gasping for air. When we put him in water, he took to it like a fish. And no, he couldn't walk on the water, but he could swim so very fast and in a way propel himself above the waves to soar for short stints.
Wait, so your body physically becomes part animal?
No,
How
no,
did
no,
you know to
Clarke.
put him in water? What if you didn't put him in water? Would he have died?
Well, probably. The reason we put him in the water is because we ran out of other things to put him in.
Wait, so why don't you have wings or a beak?
The boy didn't have gills or webbed fins or anything like that.
But he
Again,
had to have gills if
these
he
are-
couldn't breathe air.
Jane and Price told me that you saw their spiritic animals. I thought this would make it a little bit more understanding.
Oh no, I did. We saw them, but you're telling me something different than what I saw.
Well, you saw the spirit guardians taking them. You haven't seen Jane and Price fight.
Wait, so
yet,
you're
have
telling
you?
me you put his spirit guardian in water?
No. We
Not
put
him physically?
in the water.
What? Well, then why did he... How does this... What's the connection between me seeing their spirit and then him coming out of the trial and then having to be put in water?
Well, in a way. Oh my. When you come out of the trials, you're going to be, well, if you come out of the trials, you're going to be connected to a spirit guardian, an animal of sorts, and they're going to imbue you with powers of which you normal humans and beings of this realm simply cannot begin to have or imagine. In this case, I'm sure you have noticed that both Price and Jane are incredibly attuned and adept at paying attention and perceiving the surroundings around them. Just as these glasses that I wear, and he takes them off and flails. I don't need these things.
I mean, you think there'd be a trial near water for people who are most likely to get water-based animals? Because, like...
Well, Clarke, we don't. That's part of the thing is. Normally, we cannot tell what animal you're going to get if you survive at all.
But what about those caterpillar people? Did they become caterpillars and then travel to the other caterpillar people?
No, they underwent. Your curiosity is bringing you to very interesting questions. You see, just as you four are about to undergo trials together, there's the 4 men of the caterpillars had both taken on the trials as a school together. Just the same as Price and Jane here have taken on their trials together.
Wait, so what's the chance of me getting the same animal as somebody else?
Nothing like that has ever happened before in the Journeyman.
But you just said the caterpillar people.
There are many kinds of caterpillars.
Oh, so they're all different kinds of caterpillars.
Now we are beginning to
She's scratching her head.
understand. Jane here is not just a bear, he is the Kodiak Bear, accustomed to that of Alaska, the northern North American continent. But there are many other bears that walk the land, and dare I say, many more fearsome than Jane here. And just the same, Price is the Abyssinian Wolf, or, as it's more should be called, the Abyssinian Fox, found in the Ethiopian continent, or the Ethiopian country.
So what you're saying is I could be a type of animal that I've never had before?
Chances are you very
Because there
well
are
might
so
become an
many.
animal you've never heard. Not all of us are as lucky to become the lions.
Wait, so if Leonidas was to do the Journeyman trial, would he become a lion? Because he's a lion.
If that were the case, then I'm afraid that Yarissa here would simply get another reptile. But unfortunately...
That's what can you answer my question?
Why, no, he wouldn't.
No, not that one. No, the one about Yarissa because she's part animal
Yes.
having another animal. Does that conflict?
No, the word of the guardian spirits do not have any of those. They have conscious thought, like those of higher species of this land. We've never.
Yarissa, you hear that? You're giving two animals. Finally, right?
No, Clarke, that was. We don't say those kinds of things. Let's be polite now.
She
What
just
are you
pinches
talking
the
about?
bridge with like the bridge of her nose.
You guys are making this conversation worse than it is. It's simply just she's the same way I'm part elf, right? She's part lizard, which is an animal. And we're going on a trial to discover her animal self. So if she can be a different animal from that trial, she can be two animals, which I think is very cool.
Yes. That as he says this, just kind of like, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, okay.
She puts her hands on her hips and gives like a smirk, like she's like, yes, I've finally done it.
You're
Good job.
completely understanding the magnitude of the situation, Clarke. I am quite impressed.
Moving on.
Oh, sorry. Did anybody else have any questions to ask Wilfred?
No, I think you've covered all of them, Clarke.
Are you sure? Because I can think of about 6 or 7 other questions to ask.
I'm.
I think you should take the talking stick back, Yarissa.
And so, as the conversation continues, the lot of us make our way to the edge of the far gone forest, where looking in, the darkness quickly overcomes as the thick forest kind of subdues the light that's beaming in. And you enter into the forest and begin walking your way in, and Wilfred guides or leads the group as Jane kind of sits in the back, overlooking everybody and following up in the rear. As you guys walk into the forest, do you want to do anything in particular, or the game is on your hands now?
I think it might be best to just simply follow our guides here and go to the trial.
Yeah.
So you guys enter into the forest along this path, and Wilfred leads with Price at his side, and Jane follows behind everybody else, being able to peer over everyone. And as you walk, you can hear the rustling of the wind through the leaves, shaking and almost howling in a way that it doesn't sound like wind howling, but almost like whispers coming off from deeper in the forest.
It doesn't sound like an animal, though?
No, it sounds like the wind.
Oh.
It's very eerie.
Must be why these are the foreboding woods.
Now, as we make our way into the woods here, I would ask that you all be mindful of your surroundings. The far-gone forest has been known to take those who are not careful. That's about all I know. But as we travel further, do not lose sight of your companions. The forest will do everything in its power to trick you, I'm sure.
Right. Stay vigilant, duly noted. And at that point, Abigail is going to quickly flick her wrist and bring her gun out of her sleeve into her hand.
Let us continue further, but like I said, always remain vigilant.
Of course.
Uh-oh. we found the edge.
And so as you four make your way through the forest, a fog begins to creep in from the tree line and overcoming the path. And it isn't long before it's so thick in front of you that as you walk, you lose sight, or you lose the sound of the feet in front of you as they walk forward. And you cannot see Wilfred or Price ahead of you at all any further.
Oh dear. I do believe this is what we were just warned about.
I was hoping we'd be a little bit further into the woods before something like this happened.
Isn't that a bit of a bitch?
Language.
This is my 24 perception. Let me see anything.
No, it's foggy, stupid.
Well, that's why I asked about my perception roll, because I'm not
Stink
you,
ass.
stupid.
No, it's foggy, dummy.
And you're bad.
Your your keen perception allows your vision to cut through the fog, where even your night vision could not penetrate, and you are able to keep contact and able to keep eyesight and connection with each of your party members up to 10 feet away from you, as the fog continues to roll in from the woods, to the point that it becomes, you cannot see your feet.
But I can still tell where these guys are, right?
Where you can tell where Abigail, Yarissa, and Clarke are. Yes.
Yeah. The other,
But-
I know the other three are gone.
But yeah, even with such a high perception, you cannot perceive where Price or Wilfred, or even where Jane has gone, seemingly fallen back and disappeared.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if everyone was in on this whole fog thing. As if they knew we'd all get split up.
You figure that's the trial?
Could be part of it. No reason to assume not. But
Been awfully anticlimactic trial.
I doubt this is all of it. This is probably just step one. Just make sure none of you wander off too far.
When you guys would like to continue, just let me know.
You want to continue?
Deeper into the forest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as you travel, chasing the footsteps and the ghosts of the past, or of your guides, you keep walking and walking until finally you come across an opening in the forest where the fog parts, and you are introduced, and you gain sight of a small opening. And as you stand there, you can see the path before you leading. Let me move you there. Sorry, but standing before you, you can see the path leading up to an intersection, and then 3 further paths leading off of that intersection further into the forest. But the fog kind of hovers at the edge of that forest line, and it doesn't want to permeate into this clearing. But you can tell that the roads continue further past the fog.
In other words, it might be telling us to pick a road. A fork, if you will.
How do you suppose we go about choosing a word? A road, rather.
Typically, you want to choose the right word.
Yes, typically you do want to do that. How do you suppose we go about choosing the right road?
You could put a stick and see which way it falls.
Do I see this the sign that's located on the map?
Wait, what if
Is
it
that
falls
real,
back
or is
where
that...
we came from?
And walk back that way.
Okay.
The sign.
Yeah, there's a little like pointer sign right here.
Oh,
it's-
yeah,
it's here. You
yeah.
That's probably just part of the asset.
Sorry. Yeah. No. This is no. I'm too lazy right now.
It
No.
it was worth a shot.
I
You-
thought
you
about
could-
it for a good 5 seconds and thought,
No.
I got nothing good.
You could just say, no, I didn't know that was on the map.
I wanted to give it a shot, and my brain failed
I
me.
just say it looks like some sticks
Okay.
that looks like a sign from above,
Yeah.
but it's really just a pile of sticks, you know?
I accidentally opened it up. Fucking
sorry.
Explorer, whatever the other one is.
A sign exists, but all the arrows point to in directions with names scratched out on them.
A lot of good that does.
No,
May as well not exist.
I have. Let's see. I want to try something. I know that we can't see our feet, but maybe if I get close enough to the ground.
Right now, you can see your feet. Lucky you.
Oh, I can. Oh, yeah. This
Paying
is more of a
attention.
clearing. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot that for a moment. I want to see if I can find the equivalent of footprints to see if
Footprints.
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 If anyone else walked through here.
Looking at the ground, you don't see footprints, but you do see drag marks. You see gouges made in the dirt that would indicate either weathering of literal rain and weather, or perhaps the dug-in marks of something heavy being dragged along the paths.
And which way would that go?
Yes.
Okay, all ways, huh?
Yep. The only place that the drag marks don't seem to be located is actually directly at your feet as you stand in the center of this intersection.
So this drag mark's going even the way we came.
Even the way you came.
Huh.
Interesting. You guys want to see which way the stick falls?
I guess.
All right. So I'll do this.
So like what, a D3?
2, 3, 2.
All right. So straight on.
Straight ahead.
Straight ahead. Lead the way.
And continuing onwards, you're going to you come in front of an encroaching wall of fog that towers in front of you. You cannot perceive past it. Something tells you that there is no perceiving past this. That something blocks your perception past this wall of fog. Is it something you continue to want to walk through?
Sure.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fog wall time.
All right,
Yeah.
can everyone give me a D4?
Oh, great.
1d4?
Yep.
Cool. Another 2.
As you four continue through the fog, you feel the slight sensations of what can only be described as a magical force overcome you as you step through. And when you do, you come back again into the same clearing you just stepped through, although now you each are at a different point in that intersection, and the comrades you stepped through are no longer with you.
Huh.
All right, what order are we doing this in?
Clarke, you
All right.
find yourself in an open clearing. In front of you, none of your comrades are standing alongside you.
Yeah, I think Clarke would be the first one to go through. So she'd walk, and she'd take a few steps before realizing nobody's behind her. And when she realizes nobody's behind her, her instinct is to go backwards instead of going forwards.
Okay.
So yeah, is there another fog wall here, or am I gonna
Yeah,
have to go
there's
through it
there's a
again?
wall of fog that as you turn back around, there is a wall of fog that imposes you. Yarissa, since you enter into this, and as you step through the fog, and like you said, you feel the magic rush over you. But as you pop through the other side, you stand at the other end of the walkway than you chose, and the both of you see across the intersection and across the way, you see your comrade with which you just stepped through on the completely opposite side of the walkway.
I say, Yarissa, is that you over there?
Unfortunately.
Well, I suppose it's better than being stuck here alone.
Right. I think I'm beginning to understand what is going on in this forest.
Right, don't suppose you'd be able to share it with the class, would you?
Well, a lot of us are being separated from one another, so I can only assume that there's some kind of teleportation happening.
Yes, that much I managed to surmise already. Normally I'd gratify that with some sort of snide remark about how obvious that is, but I understand that with the direness of our circumstances right now, that might not be quite appropriate.
I think by you saying that you were withholding a snide remark is almost as bad as the snide remark.
Well, which would you prefer? Would you prefer this snide remark to actually come out, or would you prefer me to withhold it?
Anyways, moving on. There's another
Right.
intersection here if you want to.
So there is.
So as the two of you join each other at the intersection, continuing to talk about your present circumstance, we'll cut to Seth, who you again have arrived in an empty intersection. None of the comrades whom you stepped through with earlier stepping through the same as you.
So, is this the exact same? As in, are those drag marks there as well?
Everything in this scene looks exactly the same as the previous.
No discrepancies.
So-
no one else around.
Though you would notice the only difference, I suppose, would be the layout of the entire intersection is flipped and or mirrored or both, depending.
I did notice that. So then, trying to remember the exact shape of it. This way. Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
Hey, whoa.
Hey, what the fuck?
Hey, whoa. What the fuck?
Is that something, or are you just doing that for mechanical reasons?
The way out is simply non-existent anymore. You all are lost in the forest that I am the warden for. And I see you all as mere pawns in the grand scheme. Now, the challenges that await, you will see and talk, should you complete them.
And in an instant, this thing, this culmination of energies appears before you, and it beckons out to you. It taunts you about a challenge. And as it does, it kind of swirls around the area, and its energies of this thing, it bubbles and it curdles. And as it taunts you and challenges you, it pulls an immense amount of energy up and out of the ground, causing small cracks and fissures to form as it pulls and rips at nature itself. And a creature spawns near you.
Uh-oh.
Huh.
Huh.
This energy that formed in front of you, that taunted you into the forest, it swirls and undulates until finally kind of twisting out into fits of air and disappearing from the scene, leaving behind its challenge for you.
I take it he didn't drop you here to show me the way forward, did he? As he's gonna start pulling out his rifle. Well, I was expecting at least this much.
Clarke, you rolled the best initiative. It is your turn first.
Okay, was that voice like physical, or is it like an in the mind type of thing?
No, you heard it audibly through your ears. You sensed
Okay.
that using your tactile senses.
You're right. With a voice like that, she's immediately going to be on guard. So then when she sees this thing spawn, she has her swords out already. I think Clark's instinct would be to fight after an entrance like that. So she's just going to rush up to the... And then she's going to rage. And then when she rages, everybody within 10 feet of me, when I rage, takes 5. So now that she's up close to the thing, how big is this thing? How are we talking?
Well, the Atronach came. It almost like peeled itself out of the tree bark. It stands. It floats. It wants to float maybe a little bit, a couple inches off the ground, but then it stands a normal human height, around 5'8".
I think Clark's smart enough to know that her swords aren't great for like cutting wood. Slashes. I think she's gonna go for the grapple.
He does not
Yeah.
succeed.
Based.
Body slam
Okay,
time.
right. And then I can use my offhanded action to shove him to the ground, right?
Yes, which is again the same exact thing of your athletics versus their athletics or acrobatics.
Wow,
Yeah.
2 crit fails.
Yeah,
Thank God.
It does not succeed that.
Damn, Shoddy, okay?
Yeah, so you see Clarke literally just run up, get very, very focused to the point where her eyes hone in to this enemy. Her hair starts to flutter with the flickerings of flames, and she just tackles this thing. And I think that's my turn. I don't think I can do anything else.
So you basically just incapacitated it for the time being.
Yeah, it has to spend its movement to get
Mhm.
up and stuff, all that crap.
The going up to the battlefield with Abigail and Yarissa, the fire Atronach misses a slash at you, Abigail, as it narrowly misses you, giving you the turn.
All right. Abigail's gonna run around here. All right, and she is going to. She's gonna jump away, provoke the opportunity attack. She's gonna jump herself back here, so it gets an attack of opportunity on me.
It's a very ballsy thing to do against a creature you don't know how it fights.
It certainly is.
Well, if it's a spellcaster, you'll be safe.
Okay, you're gonna take 4 slashing from that.
All right, I can deal with that.
Youch.
Owie, zowie. As Abigail takes the slash on on her side, probably as she runs past. She's going to line up, and she's going to use a new ability that she got at level 7, which is Piercing Shot. And she is going to expend one of her grip points, and she is going to shoot through this Atronak and hit the one behind it. She is also, yeah, that's the only grip point she's going to spend, so I'm gonna do that.
That hits both. Yeah.
And
Air
then
doors.
extra attack, which is just going to hit the first one. So that's 16 damage to this front one.
And 8 to the back end.
On a hit, creature attack roll. Oh, I have to make an attack roll with disadvantage.
Yeah,
on
against
the one
anything
behind.
behind it.
All right, so I'll just make another one for the one behind. Does a 10 hit it?
10 narrowly misses.
Damn. As the last bullet flies just a little wide. This front one still eats a lot of shit.
Yeah. That front one took that shot, and it immediately feels the pain and feeling as if half of the being that it once was, and then some. This Ice Atronach is down in Seth's battle, and it's going to lumber itself forward at you, Seth, but it can't get that far to you. It's massive, heavy legs of ice only allowing it to go so far. And since it cannot reach you, it instead spews this a cloud of fog. And a radius of 20 feet around this Ice Atronach fills with fog in the area, and your vision becomes quite obscured.
That works perfectly. Because it can't reach me. So I'm going to go over here. And as a bonus action, I'm going to roll stealth.
Okay.
Ooh, that's not so good, though.
Uh-oh.
That's okay. I still have movement. I might as well use it. I'm going to go under the assumption that this thing does not have super great perception. So it will not find me when it attempts to do so.
You definitely...
Let's see. And I can't really see him too well, right?
Through the trees?
Well, I'm in I assume surrounded by trees and bushes, but I can't see him too well through the fog, right?
Yeah, not through the fog, you can't.
Hmm.
No. But from where you're at, you can see the center. You can see the full fog, like the disk of fog in the area. But you know that probably stands somewhere in the middle, but you cannot see the Atronach itself.
It's a free action. Can I just try to perceive that he's in the same spot?
Sure. You feel very strongly that the Atronach has not moved 1 inch from where you last saw it.
Great. Perfect. In that case, it was a 13 hit.
13 does hit, piercing through the fog.
As Seth kind of runs away immediately, as he is not very partial towards close combat, he runs towards the trees, immediately gets a better vantage point in some simple low-hanging trees. Figures this thing is really big, slow, and lumbering, so it wouldn't have gotten so far enough. So he sets up his rifle, takes aim, and just shoots exactly where he thinks it's going to be.
And the bullet, as the bullet exits the chamber, it gets a bit of spin onto it, and that spin carries it through the fog, straight and true, kicking off the wisps of air. As it cuts through the fog, you can see the hole through which it pierces straight and embeds itself into the ice, the thick ice body of the Atronach. And you can see now a direct hole all the way through to the center of the fog, like a piece of it was just bored out and taken with you.
Seems like a direct hit to me. But will it crack? As he just kind of loads up another bullet. Very happy he got a very slow enemy he can just pick off.
That's your turn?
That's my turn.
All right. As we float back up to the battlefield with Yarissa and Abigail, this other fire Atronach is going to turn at you. Is going to turn to you, Yarissa, and is going to attempt to slash at you. 16 hits you, right?
Nope.
Then it takes a swipe at you, but misses you as well. Both Atronox missing their attacks against their targets. And instead of moving away from you, it's going to shift around the battlefield towards its other teammate. And now it's your turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna follow it in just a touch, and it was this one that got hit real hard, right? This front one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna take a swing. Oh no. Oh no.
Don't go lose your rapier in the fog now.
As you
Huh?
swing at the fire Atronach, this will be one. As you swing at the fire Atronach, you your haphazard swing flies through the air, and it does connect with the elemental being. So you can roll me damage.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
And as you deal the final bits of damage to this creature, it bursts into a bout of flames and showers you in embers. Roll 2d8.
Oh great.
And as the embers shower upon you, they burn and singe at your hands as your off-balance swing leads you careening into the body, and you take 8 points of damage. But you do manage to destroy this Atronach.
All right. I'm gonna take a swing at the other one then. 23 hit?
No. You deal 7 piercing damage to it, and it feels hurt, but by no means has its fighting spirit been dwindled. We'll finally come down to this nature Atronach here by Clarke, and it takes a swing at you, Clarke, but just the same fate as the fire Atronachs before it. It is unable to connect. Oh, I guess it can't because it's on the floor. You're right. So it would
Main
use
attack
this
is
turn.
disadvantage, right?
Yeah, and it missed everything. So its turn is nothing. It can't do anything except for attempt to get up. But it missed all of
wiggling.
its stuff. So it leads to your turn.
Usually in this circumstance, Clarke has allies to help her do damage. But knowing that she's by herself, she's just like, I have nothing else to do. Take out the sword and try and just like do what she normally does to the targets in this situation. Just jab them in the stomach. Where's mine? There. Cool. I guess so. She goes to hit it, and then she just like hits like a really thick piece of bark, and she's like, okay, well, not that area. And then she goes again. How about 13, huh?
A
Number
13 does hit.
That's 11 because I'm raged.
It's an
I don't know
11.
if it has reduced slashing damage or not.
And as you slice at this creature, it lets out a terrible scratching screech as half of its life force is taken away from it in a single slash.
I'm gonna say because she's not holding her second weapon in her hand, she can't make that 2-weapon fighting attack. So she's just going to reflicker that storm aura. So it's just another flat 3 damage to the. So as she's like hitting it, and like the heat of her body wrapped around it is starting to like burn it.
And as you do, you can see the lasting life force of the Atronach before you peter out, and its eyes that were glowing a deep green fall back into a dull nothingness, and the Atronach withers away into leaves and blows off into the wind. Abigail.
Abigail is going to swiftly reposition herself up here. She's going to whip out, or still having her lady's companion out. She's going to use her left wrist, like her left arm crossed in front of her, resting her right arm on top of it to steady her aim. And she is going to loose 2 shots at this Atronach. Oh.
Ooh.
And a mechanic that part of Adept Marksman that slipped my mind, or that slipped me until I reread Grit just now, is that every time I roll a 20 on a d20 for an attack roll with a firearm, or I deal a killing blow to a creature of significant threat with a firearm, I regain a grit point that I have expended. So because I rolled that 20, I get one of my grit points back. Do both of those hit the Atronach?
Absolutely. Both of those hit the Atronach.
All right, so that is 8, 4. Let's shit damage rolls, but that is 12 damage.
And the creature withers and screams in pain as you fire these shots, and it's not done, but it is on its last legs. That's your turn?
Yes.
Seth, the battle that you fight as you peer down this porthole of fog that you've created with the bullet moments earlier, you can see the Atronach as it takes this bullet, this sniper shot into its icy body, and it cracks and spiders out. Even though the Atronach itself lacks any form of eyes or face, what you could consider its head turns and if it had eyes, look through that porthole of fog you created and sees you through at the other end. And it takes its lumbering steps, shaking the ground as it makes its way in a direct line towards you, bringing the fog with it, covering back over that porthole that you created moments earlier. But it cannot reach you, and thus nothing it can do would merit an attack or maneuver. And so we go to you and your turn.
Great. I'm going to do the same thing in a different order.
It's as if the fog itself has completely disappeared, and you can see through it as if it was fog you created yourself. And the Atronach bounding through it becomes clear as day.
6.
That hits, and the Atronach gets hit and stumbles. It takes a slight step backwards as it feels its life coming to a short end.
Interesting. Come over here, and then stealth check.
You're telling me
So-
I do this on my turn?
Yes, on his turn, he has to try and find me.
Okay. And so then out of combat, it's whenever you roll stealth, then you roll it against the thing you're trying to stealth against.
Yeah. So if it beats their passive perception, then they just completely lose sight of me.
I see.
And then on their turn, they can try and find me again, essentially with the perception roll. But
They have to
beat
like
stealth.
actively be looking for him.
Yeah.
I see.
The order I did it in earlier, when I did stealth and then I attacked, I hid then gave away my position, so that was kind of worthless. I remember that because it's been a while. I'm like, oh wait, that was the wrong order.
Okay. So you sneak back into the shadows, and that ends your turn?
Mm-hmm.
This fire Atronach, on its last legs, it's going to target you, Yarissa. Could you please roll me a dexterity saving throw?
Oh boy. Nice.
Oh, well, yeah, you pass that. So instead of taking the full damage, you take half as the fire Atronach, in its kind of final bouts of life, breathes in and fills itself with immense energy. And then in a cone in front of it of 15 feet, it breathes out fiery breath, dealing only 2 damage to you as you take half and you succeed your saving throw. It's your turn now.
Quickly responding to the counterattack. She's gonna respond with a rapier swing. Oh my god.
Yo, it's time to get a
My
new
God.
weapon, dude. That's what's gonna happen after the trial.
You said a 13 still hits though, right?
Although the being in front of you is primitive in nature, held together through strands of magic, haphazardly weaved into the elements itself, it is smart enough to have seen its ally die in battle, and this time, instead of meeting the same fate, the Atronach is able to dodge out of the way of this of your swing. I can't let you get
usually
away
for-
with 2 fails like that.
It,
Yeah, that one will hit. As you pierce through the Atronach, dealing its final blow, the fate it tried to avoid, the fate that its ally met, it so too meets the same. It swells up with a fire burning in its gut And as you hold on to your rapier that pierced through the object, that heat is transferred into the hilt of the blade. And roll me a d8.
Great.
You take 12 points of damage.
Oh!
As the heat from the rapier radiates into your hands, singeing it, the Atronach itself explodes into a fiery burst of flames, and it too has been conquered. Over on Seth's battlefield, it doesn't see you.
Okay.
And looking, and with no, when we talk about primitive beings that these creatures are, out of all of them, the ice Atronach seems to be the most dense. And with nothing left to find, and only a moment gone by that its target had disappeared, in a way it shrugs and heads back to the spot that it came from.
Can I still see it? That's my question.
Yeah, that perception freaking roll is too good.
Oh, that probably don't hit.
That doesn't hit.
Oh my god, I'm rolling so poorly. This is the hide over here again. That's my turn, so you could skip right back to his if nothing else alive.
Yeah, it's your turn. Because it hadn't perceived a threat, and because you are unable to hit it, it still does not know that you are there.
That's so funny. Oh my lord!
The double crit! The double crit fail!
As you shoot this arrow, it lands at the feet of the Atronach, and even though it lacks eyes and a face, it looks down at the arrow between its feet, and then looks and gives a sharp glance in your direction, breaking all sense of stealth you once held before.
Seth just kind of sighs and says, "This always happens. The worst jobs."
You couldn't hit a stationary target, dude. What a loser.
I'm gonna run back. You don't gotta tell me that. I'm gonna hide in the tree.
Oh my god.
Good luck finding me. I'm listening to some
Use an
fucking triumph.
tag forehead.
I'm listening to such fucking triumph.
I'm not gonna move the turn order, but
yeah, don't bother.
Freeze the whole forest.
The ice Atronach makes its way towards your last known location before you skedaddle and hit it once more. And that's as far as you can. You guys can't see. It can only move 10 feet.
I can
What
tell.
was that noise?
That's rough.
I don't even have to keep hiding myself whole ass. I could just
There you
stand
go.
and move.
Your turn, Seth.
Oh, thank God. Just a 7.
That's going to kill it.
As Seth gets out his rifle and beams it straight through this thing's head from the side, as he sees all the cracks begin to form, he has a bit of a annoyed face as he's like, "Man, why'd I miss earlier? I'm glad no one was around for that part."
And as you loose the arrow and it travels and it hits and
The
embeds
rifle?
itself, or your rifle, and it embeds itself. It says crossbow, but it embeds itself in the.
We talked about this. We're flavoring the heavy crossbow as a rifle.
Shut up.
I know how the mechanics work. I understand it, bro. It embeds itself into the ice body of the Atronach, and this time the spidering of the breaking and cracking of the ice spreads out, completing the cycle around its body, and in shards of sprinkling glass it falls and crumbles to the ground, and the Atronach has been defeated, and I can get rid of this turn order for now.
You sure can.
My crit.
Fucking double 9s.
The 4 of you are left on a battlefield with the remains of your enemies defeated, and now a quiet and empty forest and an opening before you.
Clarke mutters to herself, so much for a trial of strength.
So Seth, you finish your battle. What do you choose to do now that you are alone?
Once he makes sure that he's absolutely alone, he's actually going to pop out. He's going to kind of kick it to make sure it's not moving anymore at all.
You kick what is now a puddle at your feet that is running along the dragged ridgeways of the walk path down, for you, northward on the map.
Normally he would say something to some effect of, "Yeah, that's what you get," but no one's watching. He's like, whatever. There's no point if no one's watching. So I'm going to walk south.
All right. Yarissa and Abigail, the fire Atronachs have been dealt with. Yarissa, you are singed and burned by each of them respectfully, now that the battle has subsided, what do you two choose to do?
Yarissa's gonna quickly down a health potion, and then in the same breath also down one of the potion bottles of whiskey.
All right, which one do you roll first, or which one do you do
I'm
first?
the potion of healing. It's just like she's trying to make it look like she's drinking 2 potions.
Okay.
Can I do like an insider or perception to see if there really is 2 potions?
I guess you can roll it against like my sleight of hand, maybe.
Yeah, the same sleight of hand that I beat, so I'm well aware that you bought alcohol. I just didn't say anything.
I
Whatever,
don't
man.
think it.
Nice,
So as you
little sippy.
as you pull the glass out of your the potion glass out of your sack and down it, I was glad that wasn't real.
Yeah, right.
As
A
you
lot of
pull
crit
the,
fails today, Tyler.
it's been a day. As
Not
you
my
pull
max.
this vial out of your sack and you down it, you gain 2 levels of inebriation, as the health potion you were holding was actually the whiskey.
Shit. Uh-oh.
Abigail quirks an eyebrow as she doesn't notice that this is whiskey, but she quirks an eyebrow, being like, "Bro, really 2 health pots for that? You didn't get hit that hard. Come on."
It's very hot.
So you
Whatever
drink.
you say, it's your pay, not mine. Oh, so good. Abigail was just saying a quick aside.
So you drank your whiskey. Do you want to roll your potion?
Yeah, sure. Wow.
Wow.
Cool.
It's the exact same roll.
If somebody won, what's happening?
And as you raise a glass to your lips and you chug it down, your inebriation level raises by 2 once again.
What? Are you kidding me?
You said 2 again?
Are you telling me that was another fucking whiskey? Oh my god, I'm pissed.
Good luck walking anywhere, dude.
Shrugging off, like, so after she finishes downing the contents of the bottle, she's just gonna shudder really quick to herself, trying to shake off the somewhat potent taste of whiskey away. But she's gonna look over at Abigail and she's just gonna ask, all right, well, where to next?
As she picks up a stick off the ground. Well, I suppose forward this way, as she points behind her along this way.
I suppose the stick hasn't mistreated us so far, so follow you then.
Well, regardless of how the stick landed last time, we still all got lost and separated, so what difference does it make?
Suppose that's the point of these woods.
Oh, well, don't stray too far. Don't want you to get lost now, do we?
Of course not.
I suppose it would be rather inconvenient for me if you ended up dying along here and I had to explain your absence.
Very couth of you.
Oh, I'm only playing around. Regardless of my moral complexion, you haven't done anything to warrant me leaving you to die, so stay close.
And as those two make their way to the edge of their battlefield, we come across Clarke, who stands at this point in a completely empty battlefield. No carcasses remain whatsoever. The body of the Atronach that you beat, decaying and fluttering away in the wind as leaves and foliage. What do you choose to do, Clarke?
She's gonna go back the way she came. I hope the others are okay.
Can everyone roll a d4 for me?
Woo!
I love the
Hey.
number 4.
2 this time.
Hey,
Hey, Yarissa.
let's see what happens.
Woo!
That first 4 was me choosing the way to go. I rolled a 2
Oh, yeah,
afterwards.
yeah. Okay.
So
This
it's
is
me and Seth, and then
perfect.
Clarke
But
and
guys,
Abigail. Yeah.
It's like I told you what I wanted to happen.
I know, Corey. That's why I fabricated the rolls.
Hey, I'm not complaining.
I know. I'm with Yarissa.
Your initiative can only last for so long. I need everyone to roll me initiative again.
Hey, one higher.
Okay. I'll just do it again.
Damn!
What the fuck?
What the
I
fuck?
crit, but
Is that allowed?
it's alright. I mean, I get to roll twice, basically. It takes the better because of what's called. Where is it? What's the thingy I got? Failure instinct.
Okay, Clarke and Yarissa. So Clarke, as you step through the fog again, that same feeling that washed over you before once again washes over you as you walk through, and this time you come out on the right side of a path looking towards the center, and across the way at the same moment that you step through, miraculously Abigail also steps through, coming in from the north, and we'll let this scene play out.
Alright, so Clarke stepping through, realizing there's no immediate threat like the first time. Actually, it's time to like look around and assess the situation. So she's probably just gonna make the way to the middle before realizing like Abigail's there like halfway through, and then like I guess wait for her to get here.
As Abigail also steps through, looking around through the fog, she's not sure if she's alone yet or not, but she does her best to survey her surroundings until walking forward enough, she sees Clarke standing at the intersection. Well, I suppose this is probably the least ideal pairing that could have been devised.
What do you mean by that?
Don't
Wait,
worry
were you
about
not
it.
alone before?
No,
Where did you come from?
the fog. I'm not exactly sure where I came from. I was previously paired up with Yarissa.
Okay, I was alone in the same clearing. Did you have to fight something? I had to fight this wooden man that was floating.
I had to fight a rather strange humanoid creature that appeared to be comprised somewhat of fire.
And did you hear a voice before that?
Yes, telling us that there was no escape. In
So do you think we're gonna have
more words.
to do this for the rest of our lives? Just walk through this forest and fight things until we die?
I should hope not. That should rather defeat the point of the trial, wouldn't it?
I suppose so, but I don't know about you, but my opponent was rather weak.
Yes, as was ours. 2 shots and it was more or less dead. I'm surmising from all of this that there's something of a logic puzzle, something that we have to figure out for ourselves in amongst all the fighting and all of the moblins that are thrown our way. It's just a matter of what exactly we're supposed to figure out that will grant us our freedom.
Do you think the
You wouldn't-
direction matters? Because I went back the way I came, and then I came here. Did you go back the way you came?
No, I pressed forward.
Okay, so it seems that the direction we travel in doesn't dictate where we're going to end up.
No, I don't believe it would, as Yarissa was behind me, basically within touching distance, and she is nowhere to be found.
Well, where are you guys touching? Do you want to try that? As she extends a hand.
Well, I suppose if you don't find the idea of touching me so repugnant, I suppose it's worth
She
a
was
shot,
like,
isn't it?
Clarke wasn't even thinking about that, and then you see like the hesitation in her hand, but and then she just shrugs it off. I don't care. I'd rather find my friends than be repulsed by the hands that have used to kill people. Whatever.
Very well. An idea's an idea. As she takes your hand, Clarke. Right, which way? Shall you decide or shall I decide?
She just pulls you downwards. Like, not like aggressively, she just starts walking down.
Alright, that answers my question.
And as you two stand in the center, deliberating on which direction it is you two should go, we cut to Yarissa, who has entered into a scene, just like the one she was in earlier, entering into a side of the field that is empty and without, and in a different direction than the one that she was walking. She steps through the fog, and you can see at the other end, at the same moment that you step through, your companion Seth also steps through.
Oh, okay.
Are you real?
As real as I can ever be.
I don't know. Let me smell your breath.
No.
I knew you'd be hiding the whiskey on me.
Right.
If you were fake, you would have said sure. That's his logic. The real Yarissa would want to hide the smell of alcohol.
Really rather ingenious, I suppose.
I Remember,
kind of stumble a little bit.
yeah.
Into
You cannot walk more than 10 feet in the same direction.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god.
You have to move like a knight on a chessboard.
I love
You have to
that.
move-
That's so
You have
good.
to, you have to
Way to
move,
move in
so
diagonals
you
like
take
this.
That's so fucking funny.
2 forward and 1 left or right. 2 forward and 1 left or right.
Right. Have you made heads or tails of this forest then?
a little bit. Aren't you happy you ended up with me out of everyone else?
Yeah, just stellar. I would rather have the lot of us be together again, but I suppose it's nice having at least one of my compatriots handy.
She misses us.
I was hoping to hear you say, yes, Seth. I'm really glad that I ended up with you, the smart one, but I'll take it.
I'm not going to be inflating your ego any further. I'm the one supposed to be keeping it in check, remember?
Doing a real bad job. Anyway,
Just you fucking wait. Just you fucking wait.
all right. I'll wait till you walk over here. No, but for real. He's like, well, as far as I can tell, it may not matter which way we walk. Because if this is a magical forest doing magical mist things, throwing magical elementals at us. Oh yeah, I fought an ice golem. I don't know if you went through anything similar.
Me and Abigail were together, actually. We fought some flame Atronax, I believe.
And let me guess, you guys walked through the fog together and now you're separate.
Yep.
So, we either must get very lucky, or we find the trick to this.
What do you suppose the trick is?
Maybe the trick's not to play. Maybe the trick is to stand in the center and wait to see if they show up with us. Maybe the trick's to go back the way we came, but no guarantee that's going to work because the fog's still that way.
I suppose I'm content with just staying here and waiting for our companions to happen upon us.
Yeah, it seems like you need to have a seat, take some water. You want to go take a drink out of that pond over there?
Absolutely not.
Are you sure? Because I think if I put it in a bottle, you chug it down.
No, I'm fine.
All right, let's have a seat in the middle, I suppose. I'll figure this out somehow.
Mm.
And as the two of you deliberate over what your next steps are going to be, before you, this goes to everybody involved, everybody on the field. Before you, in the center of the walkways, an undulating force of energy begins to pull from the forest above. And as the winds are guided down to a circular ball that rips in torrents about, ferociously in front of you, a being, an energy ball, appears again.
You four have done well. The first challenge has been taken. But there are many more that await in the far-gone forest. And you too will be challenged together this time. May you be victorious and getting excited for the challenges that are set before me. This forest has gone too long without a proper suitor.
And as quickly as this force arrived, it reaches down into the ground. And just like before, it rips up and pulls at the ground itself, and it creating these energy and pulling the elements from around you, and you can feel the hair stand on end as it rips through the ground below you. And as it does, as it pulls up this ground, this magical energy reaches into the elements and then weaves itself unanimously across it, and it pulls the elements up out of the ground, creating Atronox in their stead. 2 ice Atronox come looming up out of the ground. The water and moisture pulled from it, solidifying before you, Clarke and Abigail. And for Seth and Yarissa, as you stand there in the center, you can feel the earth pull and morph and form itself into Earth Atronox on your side of the field.
How about a real challenge? Since it seems you four are better than the ones who came before you. Feast your eyes on the real challenge.
And with that, this forming, whirling ball of energy kind of consumes itself, getting smaller and smaller and smaller until the winds that whipped it into action die down completely, and it disappears from the scene altogether. Yarissa, Seth, you stand there and you see the Atronox pulled up out of the ground in front of you, and same thing to you, Abigail and Clarke. You see these ice Atronox pull out of the ground and stand before you menacingly. But you can feel that whatever it was that this energy left is not over. And the Atronox, both the ice and the earth, begin to twist and crack. You can see on the dust on the earth Atronox peel and split and fly into the air. The ice Atronox splitting into spider webbing cracks that connect, and eventually all four of the Atronox themselves break and crumble. But instead of being defeated and becoming nothing, they are pulled together, forming into one. And in their stead, as they are pulled together and mixed together and morphed, consumed and created in their place, they disappear, and standing before you, crashing onto the ground with large feet that embed itself into the rock.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, dearie me.
Woo!
They come
Well,
together and
take
form
increased,
and create an elemental being much stronger than both of them combined could ever be. And standing before you both, this creature, a dragon, a Wyramling, lands on the ground and faces you, ready for battle.
This is a good time to start listening to the Yakuza Zero OST.
I've been.
You sober enough for this one, Yarissa?
Absolutely not.
Unfortunately, that becomes my problem too.
I can hold my own. I'll be fine. You just worry about your own self.
Big
You're
roll.
part of that problem, idiot. Because if you go down, what am I going to do?
You have your priorities straight.
Kyle, the imagery I have in my head is we don't exchange words when this happens, right? I feel like we both know that this is like a foe that we're gonna fight. So the camera pans down from the dragon's perspective and sees Abigail as she's like jumping out of the way. And as soon as she jumps out of the way, Clarke dashes through where Abigail once was, running towards the Wyvernling as you're jumping back to gain distance and pulling out your pistol.
And so with the Wyramlings now standing before you, the battle set to take
21.
place. We will come back again next Thursday to see the end of the fights between the Earth Wyram, the Ice Wyram, and our players, the Lion Knights.
Man, I gotta maintain a constant state of drunkenness all the way until next week. That's fucked up.
The short duration that you talked with Seth, you lost 1 level of inebriation.
You just talk to me more often, man. See what I do for you?
It just goes.
No,
in
I
just
lost
as
my
fast
damage
as-
You lost
resistance,
the damage
bruh.
resistance. That's not great.
Fucked up.